Good evening. A disabled great-grandmother from Bartley Green in Birmingham says she's angry after she had to crawl up 2 flights of stairs on her hands and knees when the lift in her tower block failed. Tonight, the council has apologised and said residents at Beach Hill House were warned the lifts would be out of action from last Wednesday. Mary Goebel says they actually stopped working the day before. Callum Watkinson reports.
When you are 99 years old and there are 28 steps between the street and your front door, the lift is a lifeline. So it was with dismay that Mary Goebel returned from a shopping trip to find hers wasn't working.
I thought, well, I've got to get up those stairs. So I put the trolley, say, 2 steps up and then hauled myself up. I had to hold on to the banister, pull myself up to the next stair on my knee, push the trolley up in front of me.
Must have taken a very long time.
Well, time had gone. I was in some sort of black, I don't know where I was in no man's land somehow.
The council had warned residents that the lifts would be out of action for maintenance from the 3rd of December, but Mary made her ill-fated trip to the shops the day before. Her local councillor says housing services need to get their acts together.
Most of the people here are well immature, and in fact we have some almost 100 years of age, and the officers, the caretakers, have been very helpful, but the City Council appears to ignore the fact that this is a mature block. These people cannot walk up 9 levels in flats. That's not good, that's not right, and I have to ask, have they got a conscience?
In a statement, the council apologised to all the residents at Beach Hill House, but said help was available. Contingency plans were drawn up to support vulnerable residents, and staff from the housing team were on hand to assist. We would have been only too happy, they said, to help Mrs Goebel with her shopping. How did the experience leave Mary feeling? Well, ask a silly question.
I was worn out for a start, and it made me angry. And then I thought to myself, when I thought about it, I thought, God almighty, I've got to do this every time I go out.
She's been stuck in the flat ever since, but the council has assured us the lift will be fixed by tomorrow. Callum Watkinson, ITV News.
An 18-year-old arrested after a man was killed in a suspected hit-and-run in Rugeley has been bailed pending further inquiries. Joseph Hunt was found on Saturday morning at the junction of Western Springs Road and Church Street. Police in Wolverhampton are appealing for the public's health to identify the owners of items suspected of being stolen from memorials in Bushbury. It's after a 47-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of theft following a number of reports over the last 6 months over ornaments being stolen from the local crematorium. Around 32 items were recovered from an address in the Scotlands area of Wolverhampton. More than 30 people have been charged in the first week of the December drink and drug driving campaign by West Midlands Police. The annual campaign aims to raise awareness of the dangers of driving while under the influence. In the first 8 days of the operation, 69 drivers have been pulled over and arrested for drink driving or failing to provide a breath sample, with 33 charged. Plans to build 2,000 new homes across Birmingham over the next 5 years have been approved by the City Council. Almost 1,500 will be up for rental. The plans involve major housing and regeneration schemes in Kings Norton, Meadway, Bromford and Yardley Brook. The city needs around 80,000 new homes by 2026.
Couple of years we have built over 1,000 homes, 650 council. Over this development over the next 5 years we are aiming to provide over 1,500 council homes. Those will be going to much needed families that have been crying out for houses, council homes for a number of years. For the first time, not only are we building but with the biggest housing developer in Birmingham now.
Several nurses from the Midlands have travelled to Sierra Leone to help treat people with Ebola. Hannah McReynolds from Leicester is among the group who've received specialist training to help the relief and treatment efforts.
Feeling a mixture of excitement, proud to be part of this team, proud to be part of the NHS response. There's obviously a level of not fear but apprehension, but confident in the training that we've had.
Farmers in the region have begun a campaign to get us to buy more food directly from them. Many farmers sell what they grow or rear in their own farm shops or at farmers' markets. They say buying local creates jobs, as our business correspondent Mark Goff reports.
The winter harvest. At Court Farm in Tillington in Herefordshire, they're busy gathering in the crops. The sprouts have been good. Growing conditions have been nigh on perfect this year, according to farmer Tim Gilbert, who sells most of the veg he grows here, either at his farm gate or in farm shops and markets nearby.
I think the most important thing is the freshness of the product. They can be in the ground in the morning and available to eat by the evening, which you can't get anywhere else.
Do people talk to you about how it's produced?
Yeah, of course, especially on farmers' markets where you have an absolute direct link with your customer and each week, and it's very important to be able to tell people how we grow things and why and where we do it. We attend 3 or 4 farmers' markets each week, so we sell in the local area and we also produce for other farm shops and restaurants and pubs.
This winter, Farmer, the National Farmers Retail and Markets Association, has started a campaign to get us shopping local at farm shops throughout the Midlands.
We're all farmers essentially. We will either be brewing our beer, we'll be baking our bread, we'll be rearing cattle such as ourselves here at Battle Hill, cattle, sheep, lamb, pork, things like that. So it's all about local food, and the people that make it essentially selling it to the consumer directly. In terms of the price itself, we do feel we fit into the band of supermarkets. You know, when we sort of look at the pricing structure of the supermarkets, we're absolutely slap bang in the middle of, say, Tesco's and Sainsbury's.
The Herefordshire veg is destined for here, the Ludlow Food Centre. 86% of the food sold here comes from Shropshire or neighbouring counties, and much of it comes from their own land. The food centre is part of the Earl of Plymouth's estate, 8,000 acres, 6,500 of it farmed, with 500 cattle, 2,000 sheep and lambs, and pedigree pigs.
Let's maybe identify what local means. For us, local means absolutely local. It's our own meat. We rear it ourselves. It goes to a local abattoir and then our butcher takes it over. So the livestock that we have on the farm here that produces the beef, lamb and pork travels almost no distance. I could take you with me on a journey which would take us about 3 minutes and we would find ourselves face to face with livestock. Is that close enough for you?
It's important to me to know where meat comes from and where local produce comes from, because I think it helps to support the community.
My father was a farmer and I think you should support local farmers, really.
And there's another economic side to this argument. Land like this produces the food, which in turn produces jobs for those who work the land, those who sell the food it gives up, and those who harvest it. Mark Goff, ITV News, Shropshire.
Well, coming up next on ITV, The Agenda with Tom Bradby.
Tonight on The Agenda, we all know that you can never get anywhere on time because there are traffic jams everywhere, but did you know it's all the fault of immigration? At least according to Nigel Farage. We'll be talking about that and ageism and why fighting in the shops shows the true spirit of Christmas with Yvette Cooper, comedian Russell Kane, Dominic Lawson and Mariella Frostrup, an eccentric group as ever, in a couple of minutes.
Well, that's to come, but in the meantime, there's more of our stories on our website. You can go and find them at itv.com/central, and there you'll see the story of the police force who've released their own parody version of a certain Christmas penguin advert. If you want to see the details, go online, and you'll also find details of tonight's FA Cup third round draw for all our teams. Now then, let's get the weather forecast from James Wright.
Wishing you a warm winter. Gas Central Heating from Northern Gas Heating sponsors the ITV local weather.
Hi there, good evening. Pretty cold start to the week. It's going to be a cold week all in all. Add to that some wind and some rain, and it's all going to feel a little bit wintry. As far as tonight goes, temperatures down to -2 Celsius. A possibility of it going a little bit colder out in the countryside. Then tomorrow morning that cold gets trapped under a veil of cloud as it pushes down across our patch. Some bright spells to start the day further to the south and east. As we head into the afternoon, yes, temperatures up on today, but add in the strengthening breeze and that rain, it's going to feel pretty grim. And then rain pushes through overnight onto Wednesday. Sunny spells and showers, windy and chilly for the rest of the week.
Gas Central Heating from Northern Gas Heating sponsors the ITV local weather.
And that's almost it from us for this evening. We're back with bulletins within Good Morning Britain. That's tomorrow morning. And of course, back tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening for ITV News Central. From the late team, have a lovely rest of your evening. And from us, good night.